So it's Saturday. I'm in a sauna, which feels like a confessional. So let's talk about shame. So people who are extremely reactive and explosive, usually, many times, it's coming from shame. Because when you have shame, you are either hiding, you're going to hide, or you're going to come out swinging. So, for example, say you're at a dinner party, right? You're out with your friends, you decide to pay for the meal, and the server comes back with your credit card and says it's declined, right? Yes, you're embarrassed, but on a deeper level, there's shame there. And so you may, lash out at the server. You may say, "What are you talking about? Your fucking machine's broken," or whatever. And this is just a very simple example, but that is coming from shame. And so, how do you get rid of shame? We all have shame, right? We all have stuff that, well, first of all, what's the difference between guilt and shame? Guilt is, simply put, I did something bad, and shame is I am bad, right? So there's a huge difference. One is something that you did that's separate from yourself, and then shame, it's something that you are. So there's the internalization. Shame is one of the lowest frequencies as far as the state that gets you to either hide or retract or come out swinging, explode, defend, all of that. So what if you put shame in a petri dish? What kills it is empathy, and this is why it's hard, is because a lot of people are okay with being empathetic to other people, but they struggle with being empathetic to themselves, right? And part of this is because we don't practice this. Like, growing up, whenever have you practiced the art of being empathetic to yourself, practicing self-compassion and self-love and understanding and acceptance, right? It's usually we grow up and we take care of other people. We're empathetic to other people. We listen to their stories and we help them. But when it comes to our own stories, we're very hard on ourselves, okay? So we never practice empathy, right? We never practice being empathetic to ourselves. Now, shame and empathy can't live in the same space. So this is a process. This is a practice like everything else. What does it look like in your life to start practicing empathy? First, being aware of when shame comes up, when you can feel it in your body, right? What is triggering the shame? And then showering it with empathy, showering it with self-compassion. And this is why things like self-love and self-curiosity, right? When you pull from curiosity, you're distancing yourself, so you're able to observe yourself. And whether you are, doing something that is unhealthy or embarrassing or bad, it's very easy to label and judge that really quick. But when you actually distance yourself and see yourself as a study, right, then you can start to be aware of your patterns instead of internalizing and thinking that you are bad or defective, right, or less valuable. So try to practice empathy as a practice, knowing that it's going to make you less reactive. It's going to make you less explosive. You're going to throw less chairs, and instead you're going to be able to respond. You're going to be more calm. You're going to not set off your fight or flight, right? A lot of times when shame happens and we feel shame and we jump the gun and we're explosive and angry and trying to defend our worth, our prefrontal cortex shuts down and it's basically limbic. It's all fight or flight, right? We're in survival mode. And we have to practice empathy so we can stop that process and start to get rid of the residue, which is shame, and we all have it. So be aware of shame when it comes up, what's triggering it, and before you either retract or react, shower yourself with empathy and practice that. You'll get better at it, and you can start to scrape the shame from your life.